And we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Bwtm Sports Live. And we're talking the return of our good friend Hughie Fury. First of all, um, hope everything is well with Team Fury and Peter Fury, Tyson Fury, and the rest of Camp Fury. That they are all in training, preparing for the future. Okay, the return of Hughie Fury. No stranger to Bwtm or Bayloric or Wide Television, which it was then with boxing. Um, it's good to see Hughie back, first and foremost. Um, my thoughts are that he was a young, up and coming heavyweight, still is, and was on the road to doing some very special things. His father, Peter Fury, the man who masterminded the great win for Tyson Fury to beat Vladimir Klitschko, is also the father, if you didn't know, of Hughie Fury. So you would expect big things of Hughie as well. I've kind of felt in the past that whatever Hughie's been doing, he's been quietly progressing. Tyson's always been the forefront. He's been the louder, more boisterous character. And obviously, he's gone on and become world champion. In fact, he's won all the belts in world boxing, bar the WBC belt, from British, Commonwealth, European, all the world belts apart from WBC. So congratulations for Tyson for that. Now you've got Hughie, who has been plagued with either injuries or long-term illness or fighters pulling out. So now we've had the fight with himself and Joseph Parker, which when it was announced before for him to go to New Zealand to fight the champion, I wasn't too impressed with. I didn't think it was a great idea coming off such a long layoff after the Fred Cassie fight to then get in a fight Joseph Parker in New Zealand, not knowing where your health is. I mean, we've seen Hughie in fights before where we've been told he's been cleared, his health is good. And then we found in fights afterwards, his health hasn't been great. And then we've had some performances which he's won, but he's never had that defining fight where you could say, wow, Hughie looks great. And that can be excused because of the illnesses. So we now think it's all clear and Hughie is going to be fit and rearing to go. And it's exciting to see, because if Hughie has performed as well as he has so far against the likes of Fred Cassie and Rudenko, if he's done that well so far, you think to yourself, well, he can do that much better if he's fully fit. That's what we hope. He hasn't been known as a one-punch knockout artist against the better fighters he's fought, but the guys he's fought have been more resistant. So, he's a little older now. So, he's about almost a year out of the ring. So you think he'd develop into physically being more of a stronger fighter, punch a bit harder and grow into more man strength. That's what I would think. And he'll need it in the heavyweight division, but he punches hard enough, I think, and respectful enough. So it's good to see him back. It's good to see him fighting in July. Now, my only concern, again, with the July fight now, fingers crossed, there are no cuts. There's no recurring illnesses. And my biggest question mark about Hughie Fury now, it's not his physical capabilities. It's not his skill set. It's not his boxing ability. It's his mindset. That's the hurdle I want to see him overcome as trying to be as non-biased as possible. If I'm going to be critical, his mental state. You've been ill in fights. Now, can you put that behind you and move forward and be in a really tough fight and not fall apart? And I'm not saying he does fall apart or he doesn't fall apart. It's just a question. What is Hughie Fury's mental strength like, and what's his heart like? If he's mentally very strong and he's got a big heart, a big fighting heart, then he's going to be a real problem in the heavyweight division, because he's 6'6", got a nice long jab. He's very good spinning off the ropes, got good footwork, nice balance, nice sways his head back and forth. He's got good upper body movement and does move the head a bit. The only concern about him is he has that left hand down low at times, which, you always think a right hand can always come over the top. But otherwise, he's a pretty good fighter, pretty good boxer. Whether he can actually fight, I know he's a fighting man. He comes from fighting breed, and I'm not questioning that. But we have to see it happen. So, you know, and against someone like Joseph Parker, Parker's physically strong. He's big. You know, I wouldn't say Parker's the best boxer in the world, and I won't say Parker is defensively responsible, but he's physically strong. And you know, and the only concern I have is whether Hughie can able to negotiate that physical strength, and have the mental fortitude to hold it together when he gets hit and hurt and in a difficult situation. You would think, with all the world-class sparring he's had through years, this would be his time. And it's a great opportunity for Hughie to really make his mark on the world stage, because obviously Tyson himself is in boxing at the moment, and we don't know what's going to happen with him and the current situation with the ban, and whether he's going to get banned or not, or how that works out. There are people in the world of boxing, no doubt, and promoters that will not want Tyson back in the world of boxing because that's not good for their business. No names being mentioned, but I'm sure that they would probably be pushing to have Tyson completely banned out of boxing. That is pretty obvious to me, I think, without even knowing information. That's pretty obvious to me. So he's not very good for business, Tyson, if he comes back, because we've seen what Tyson can do. Back to Hughie Fury. So it's a great opportunity for Hughie to get out there and do the business. Going back to that July 8th fight, I believe. So we don't want Hughie Fury getting injured or cut, or any reoccurrence of those illnesses that he's had. We've been informed by Peter Fury that he's well and good this time around. I hope that he is. I hope also that all the dark clouds around Team Fury, in terms of what's been going on with Tyson and all the politics and all that stuff, hasn't become a part and engulfed Hughie, that he's been able to shut himself away and do things. He's been training good. He's always training. We just want to see him fight now. So obviously those are my concerns, you know, either overtraining, you know, illness coming back, injuries and cuts going into the fight with Parker. So let's hope he gets through this fight in July. You want a fight where he can actually stick around for a few rounds and see what he can do, knock the dust off and ring rust, and go through the motions, but not in too much of a difficult fight, which is causing him to jeopardize that fight in September. So, you know, a lot of people say, well, they're looking forward to the fight against Joseph Parker, and I'm looking forward to the fight against Joseph Parker. I personally would like to see Hughie have a run of 3 or 4 fights going into the Parker fight, so there's no stone unturned. He's consistently fighting and he's ready to fight against Joseph Parker. I'd love to see that. That isn't going to be the case. He'll fight in July, and then we look to see him fight in September. I've seen in BoxRec that his 2 fights he's got in the space of 2 weeks. You know, I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but we know he'll fight in July the 8th, which is good, and it's good to see. TBA, we don't know who the opponent is yet. I looked to BoxRec today, the 1st of July, and there's no opponent yet for Hughie. So, you know, we'll have to wait and see how that all works out for Hughie. So there are question marks at Hughie Fury, because we don't know what he's like at the highest level. But if his boxing ability, his mental strength, and he's got heart, we know he's got a decent chin as well. So many stories I've heard about, you know, he's got good pedigree, so there's no about it. You know, a world champion, a youth champion, you don't win that by not having boxing skills. So he would have, you know, some pedigree about him, Hughie Fury. I've always said he's got one of the best jabs in the heavyweight division, and a good jab takes you a long way in world boxing, particularly in the heavyweight division, where, you know, you can line up your punches after that. So it's good to see Hughie back, like I said. July the 8th, let's see him back in the ring. Let's see what he looks like. I don't want to see a knockover job where he goes out there, hits a guy with 2 punches and falls over. I really don't want to see that. I'd prefer to see Hughie, you know, go 4 or 5 rounds in a good fight where he can show his skills off and demonstrate what he can do. So that would be great for Hughie to be able to do those things. So it's an interesting fight. It's a great fight, and we look forward to seeing Hughie in the ring soon. So those are my thoughts with Hughie Fury and Joseph Parker. You know, those are, you know, I'm looking forward to the fight. I'm going to be watching with, you know, that Hughie does the business he can. Oh, by the way, come and say hello, JJ. See you in the camera.
Hello.
Just put your head down. This is my son, Junior Jones. He's named after the boxer, actually, Junior Jones. So this is him. So he's in the background here. But yeah, just to let you know that I'll be watching, definitely see Hughie, the comeback of Hughie Fury. He's got all the ability in the world to go on to become a world champion, in my estimation. But we have to see him actually demonstrate that. And that, like any fighter in the world, he's got to do the business. And I'll be watching, and many people around the world will be watching to see Hughie take that next step to becoming world heavyweight champion, July the 8th. And then the big fight, fingers crossed, no illnesses, no cuts, no injuries. We go full forward for the big fight against Joseph Parker, which is in Manchester, and it feels so much better it's in Manchester for Hughie Fury. So that's it, my thoughts on the return of Hughie Fury, and I hope that Tyson does get his license back. He is definitely needed in the heavyweight division. It will definitely spice up the heavyweight division to a point where I think that it will be fantastic to see Tyson back in the ring as well. So that's it. See you soon. Take care.